I normally just wait. Good evening, guys. My name is Jessica, and I'm yet again joined by my little sister, Natasha.
Hello.
And we are going to be commentating the penultimate game of the Stratosphere group between Evan Borowski of Canada and Brian Bowman, who's representing Kazakhstan. The winner of this best of 3 match will play Orlet Bullock in the quarterfinals. So I'm just going to give them the okay to start, and we will begin. And Tash, maybe you can say what sort of match you'd like.
I'd like a 2-round match because I have to wake up really early. And I think I might kick Jess out of my room if it goes to a 3rd game. So, and she doesn't want that.
No, I don't want to be thrown out of Tasha's bedroom.
So,
though it is her bedroom.
It's my bedroom, and so I can't exactly go to sleep in your bedroom.
No. So I've given them the okay to start. When the notification pops up on my screen, we will begin. If anybody is watching this live right now, even though my thing doesn't say there's any viewers, somebody might be watching.
Then do say hi.
Yeah, do feel free to give me a Facebook call or something, because that will be perfectly fine. You're welcome to join us for like 2 minutes, half a game, whole time if you want. You know, it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. Yes, again, I don't know too much about either of the players. But Evan is originally from Canada. He is living in Michigan.
I thought you were going to say he's living the dream.
No, I believe he's living in Michigan.
He started.
Oh, they've started. So I'm just gonna remember to switch board over. So on the left is Brian's handle. On the right is Evan's handle. So it's Brian to start the opening game. And he's got a balanced rack, you know, that's a start. That's always what you're looking for. When you draw 7 tiles, you're always a bit dubious about whether you're going to get a nice rack or a balanced rack or something. And Vor, I would assume, is probably the best opening move. I mean, leaving pain on your rack. Well, admittedly, leaving pain is not good in terms of actual pain. The letters pain they go pretty well together. So
they're quite nice.
Yes. And Tash has learnt a new 8-letter word.
Oh, actually, it's a 6 as well.
Well, she's learnt a new 6, but unfortunately it only plays here. And that's Krantz.
Yep.
What a bummer, Tash.
Oh well. If there was an E or an S, you could have the plural of that.
Well, the one issue that Evan has now is that Vor doesn't allow easy parallels to be played, so he's actually got to consider at this point whether he's gonna like play off, say, the Z with some other letters for, say, 20 points, because he's also not got a hook for Vor. It only takes an S, but he's never gonna burn his blank to play something like that.
Like 30 or 40.
So of course, it'd be lovely if something like Zach is a word, but it's not. It's not a word. Don't even think about it.
My opponent played that once.
Yeah.
And all my opponent had to do was not play a phony, and he'd won the game. But he played Zach, or Zax as it was, and, like, I challenged it off.
You can have this spelling of Zach.
And then I won the game because of, because I quit with the Z and the K.
Okay, so Evan plays Zar for 29. He does leave 4 consonants and a blank on his rack, so that might not be the best plan, but admittedly, Zar sort of does what he wants it to do. It's just really, it's just really open to being left with what he's picked up, 2 consonants. And Brian has just played the word pintada.
Yeah, it's the only one.
It's the only bonus, according to Tash. And as you can see, Evan actually created the opening for it. So I'm really expecting him at this point to quickly play Trank for 30 through the A of pintada.
Oh, these are 9s.
Tash says there's only 9s with 3 vowels, so there's no 8s, obviously no 7. Evan plays Trank pretty quickly, and Brian is looking at quite a nice rack. Unfortunately, there's only 1 8 and no 7. That's neologic. I assume that means new logic, which is like when you think about Scrabble moves, and then suddenly some new logic appears that allows you to think about a move.
New logic.
Yeah, neo means new. So like neonatal is like new birth and stuff. So neo just means new.
Okay, on with the game.
If it was possible, Brian's best move would involve a double-double through the N. But there probably isn't one. He does have the ing ending, so whether he's going to choose to keep ing or play probably the 3 letters goo somewhere to maybe hold on to the bonus, I don't know. Tash has informed me through the help of Ziziva.
Oh.
Yeah, do you want to tell us what you found, Tash, or should I just keep talking?
What did I find?
You found that there are no double-doubles.
Oh. I was like, what?
So, there are no double-doubles. So, Brian is sort of looking to consolidate his lead without opening too much of the board up as well, because at the moment it's quite tight. There aren't really, like, nice 7 openings. I mean, Paw takes an S in front for Spore, and that's literally the only opening down here, because of, this is quite limited here. Brian decides to keep an E on his rack by playing Glonoin. Tash, that was fine.
Yeah, I know, I'm looking up his rack.
Okay. So we didn't know Glonoin before.
Before Ziziva.
Before Ziziva helped us with Glonoin. So Evans picked up an X, but he's picked up a vowel, and picking up the vowel is quite important here. There are no 7s and 8s though, so he might be looking to offload the X to give himself the best chance of a bonus and catching up. But he'd also ultimately want to try and get rid of the B as well, because Bs aren't very friendly in bonuses. Unfortunately, the right vowels aren't on the board to be able to do that. So he's either got to choose to offload the X or the B. Tash,
the X?
Yeah, choosing the X gives you the best chance of the bonus. And Evan realises this.
Probably.
And plays Zax for 19. Now, unfortunately, Zax doesn't actually open anything out. But at the same time, it doesn't block any of the existing floaters. But I'm sure Glonoin does take the S, so it sort of blocked one of the S openings.
And he's just blocked the left side of the board. Yeah,
the Spore hook that we found out. So Brian played Quail for 48. Evan drew an E, so that was pretty lucky. He drew the best tiles. He's got a lot of bonuses here. He's got 7 7s. It's quite a lovely number, isn't it? 7 7s. So a word like Atabrine.
Oh, I was looking on the I and the N.
Yeah, but Atabrine is a bit better. Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
So Tash was indicating that she didn't notice the A of pintada because she doesn't like words that begin with vowels. They're really hard to see for her. That's her realisation of the words.
Oh yeah, that's a really bad move. I just realised.
So, this was what Tash found with the help of Zizza. She found turbine.
Yeah, with the help of
17.
Zizza, I did not use my brain, unfortunately.
But Atabrine is a better move because
what about?
Because it doesn't open the triple lane.
Wait.
And it scores 4 more points as well. And the anagram of Atabrine is Rabatine. Rabatine. So, I'm expecting Evan to see this. It is a very common bonus Atabrine. It's got retain in it and it's got +2. He chooses Turbine, however, for 72.
Must have heard me.
Yeah.
Before I realised it was a bad move.
I just looked up horses. You can't have horses.
I think I saw a fly.
Oh dear, we have a fly in here. It's better than when I had the hornet in, to be honest. We don't want that whole hornet experience. Yeah, you missed it. I had a hornet in my room and I literally like, oh my god.
No, wait, that's
no.
wrong. I was thinking of hornets. That was why I wrote that.
No, I distracted you. Horses.
You did.
You can actually have horsey EY, but it's not a noun. That's unfortunate. I mean, horsey should always be a noun.
Maybe it would be horsey.
No.
That's...
No, it's hoses. No. So go back to the rack that we had. So, Brian would definitely look to keep one of his S's here. He'll want to get rid of the Y, because the Y is what is limiting him from bonusing as well. So,
and he'd want to play something onto the triple as well.
Yeah, he'd definitely want to take out the triple spot.
Because that's quite nice if you've got like a S or...
So the only 5 that fits nicely is yours.
Or a D as well, goes on the end of turbine.
Yeah. So yours scores 37, gets rid of the Y. But unfortunately, you'd best want to get rid of the Y and the H. But unfortunately that's not really possible. And since you can only get rid of one and hit the triple, you're gonna choose playing the Y over playing the H. Because the Y is a lot harder to bonus with. You can really only put that at the end of words.
And I don't like doing that.
Yeah, because you've always got to think of like adjectives and stuff. The Oxford Dictionary is lovely for putting Y's on the end,
words or...
Yeah, ILY words, like illy words, the adverbs, I think they are, or like
adverbs.
They're always really hard to know or guess at, because sometimes you're like, how would I use this word in a sentence?
Or the ERY words.
ERY words are really hard as well.
Basically, everything ending in a Y is hard, so don't do it.
So I try and avoid them. I remember the days in the bottom division where like all of my bonuses either ended in ING, ED or ERS, and it was like
that's pretty much still all my bonuses.
And it's like the time when you don't play those bonuses, it's like, oh my god, I found another 7 that's not like a normal 7.
I mean, they don't happen to me like often, but they happen quite often, if that makes sense.
Well, one thing we haven't considered is whether just getting rid of the Y, H and S is a possibility here. Because Brian could play something like Hayes here. It doesn't open the board out, and that's a tiny bit of a problem. But it does leave the turbine hook open if he's willing to risk it.
From turbine, because Shy doesn't take anything on the end.
But he is taking out the only 7 opening as well. So he probably wouldn't want to do that. So Brian plays yours for 37, like we first suggested, like what seemed like a couple of decades ago. I'm sure it was a couple of decades ago.
It better not have been.
I think I aged a bit since the last move. But
we are constantly getting older. Deal with it.
Oh dear. I'm a couple of seconds older than when I was a couple of bits ago.
Yeah. Sorry for that realisation, if anyone just had a moment.
We had a couple of moments.
Well, no, I didn't have a moment, I'm fine.
Okay, I had a moment. So, Evan's got, like, what I think is probably 2 of the most awkward vowels in the game. The U and the I. O's can be quite nice.
But there's not enough of them.
But, you know, their O's, they're not the best vowel. It's because Evan has two I's that are basically like, get off my rack sort of thing. Immediately I'm drawn to the N of turbines because Evan does hold the G and the I on his rack. So, because of that, he can possibly play a longer word.
Or not.
Well, or not, according to Tash, because unfortunately his rack doesn't go very well with the N.
He can always play something like fungi.
Yeah.
Or fungi.
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 So fungi would have played here, would have left HIT on his rack. Evan decided to play Hui.
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 Hui. Hui. Hui. Maybe he saw that because he kept the G.
But also it opens out the left-hand side of the board a bit more. It creates another 7 opening next to, on the right-hand side of Hui.
Hui.
We promise we won't do that all the time. That's a lie. It would always happen. So, Brian is actually pretty close to a bonus here himself. The only thing really buggering it up is the J. So, he will want to play the J, but he also wants to maximise the score for the J as well. But he has to think about whether he'd rather go for the bonus or maximise the score. So
there's a couple of options.
He could maximise his score by playing Johns for 46. So that would take out any minimal opening in column 14. It takes out the N and the I. The B isn't a very good floater. And this is the only 7 opening, and a 7 here would just... he'd have access to the triple.
It takes out loads.
Yeah. What you've also got to remember when you're holding an S is, and if you're debating whether to play it, it's important to remember, is the board S friendly? So can you hook the S anywhere on the end of words on the board?
Or the beginning.
The beginning, yes,
but not so much.
But not so much, because bonuses tend not to start with S's, they tend to end in S's. So Brian plays Joe for 24, and if I can just go back to the S discussion briefly, if you're debating moves and, you've got, Joe scores 24 but John scored 46, because there aren't really S-ending plays available on the board, you don't really have to worry about keeping the S so much because it's not going to give you much of a score advantage over the other player. And Brian would have had an extra 22 points on his score, and that would have put him about 72 points ahead, rather than the 40 that he currently is. So you've always got to think about, so it's not just what you leave and what goodies you're leaving, but also how useful are those tiles on the board. They could be really useful to you personally because they're really good tiles, but if they're not useful on the board, there's no point in keeping them. So while I was talking about S's, Evan has found the bonus, giftable.
The only bonus available on this board. He had fatigue, on his rack.
Heating and frigate. Was there anything through the eye of turbines? Was there any bonus through the eye of turbines? No.
No.
Anything else through the B?
The B, no.
No. So he did.
Did I say it was the only bonus?
Yeah,
I'm really sorry because I'm on sub anagram.
Well, that was the only playable.
That messes with my brain. So.
And Brian did challenge giftable, I assume because it gives Evan a 31 point lead, and also because it ends in able, and able words are really difficult to know in this dictionary. So there isn't really too much you can do about able words.
It makes sense though.
It does make sense.
Giftable.
It does make sense, but at the same time,
it doesn't make
a lot
any
of Collins doesn't make sense. So we see that Brian picked up another O and an A, and he's not got 7s and he's not got 8s. So unfortunately he can't capitalise on what Evan has done. That's a 9 cash.
Why am I looking at 9s?
So one thing he could do is play Ra here for 28. Admittedly his rack what is left on his rack doesn't leave very good. It leaves three vowels and 2 consonants, but considering Ra gets 28, it's pretty worth it, to be honest. So he does play Ra. He was probably listening to me. He probably wasn't as well, because a load of what I say is a bit meh. So after Evan's bonus, he's drawn 1 vowel and another S. Most words ending in able do not take an S, so I'm going to assume that giftable doesn't.
I can look it up.
You can.
It does.
Giftable does take an S.
It does. Isn't that nice?
Giftable's a thing.
It's a thing, guys!
Don't shout. Our parents
Sorry.
are asleep.
I don't think they are, actually.
They're probably doing something weird.
It's only 10 to midnight.
So,
oh, he can play Send, S-C-E-N-D.
So, Send is probably the best move here, because it scores, how much did it say?
47, I think?
40 something. But Clem does keep the S. Even though there aren't S ending moves on the board, like I said, except giftables, which nobody's probably going to guess unless they have to.
Yeah.
Because admittedly, you'd only really stick an S on an able word if you were, like, desperate for something.
And it's not worth it if it comes off as well.
Yeah, because losing a turn at this point, Evan wants to try and keep his lead, and Brian can't afford to lose another turn because he'll go a bonus behind, so I don't really see it being played.
But Clem gets rid of, like, 4 tiles and should hopefully get a balanced rack.
And it takes out the easier 7 opening, because you can still play a 7 down by the side of giftable, but it is quite hard.
But unfortunately, GE is not a word.
Yeah.
So it'll be quite hard. In my opinion.
So, Brian's play of Ra picks up 2 E's. I mean, he's not getting very lucky, he's just drawing vowels. So, he's really going to look to get rid of 2 or 3 vowels here. He might choose to play something like Aloe. Or Aaliyah. Just to open out the right hand side of the board to make it easier. It is really hard to open up the left hand side of the board at this point. So Brian chooses to open up the right hand side of the board with OE. That's Small Literary Island. That's what it is, Tash.
Okay.
IO takes both an N and an S. So that makes the bonus lane down column 13 a lot easier than the one down column 12. But at the same time, he will be aware that Evan also has access to that opening as well. It does score a couple more points than Aloe would or Aaliyah would. But leaving 2 E's on your rack isn't as bad as you think, but I think leaving AEST is probably a bit better than leaving AEEST. But then there's probably a lack of vowels in the bag as well. I haven't counted, so I don't know. So
15.
So Tash says there's 15 vowels in the bag out of 34 tiles. I know this says 20. It says 27 tiles are left, but there's 34 because we've got to include Evan's rack as well.
So does that mean there's all the vowels on the other rack?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's probably...
Sorry, all the vowels on Brian's rack as well. We're on Evan. But anyway, it means there's just under half the vowels left in the bag. But that shouldn't worry them too much at the moment. Seeing as we know about giftables, Tash, is there a 5-letter word beginning with S?
S-D-E-I-N.
A variant of stain, S-D-A-I-N-E.
And signed,
S-I-N-E-D, some weird
and snide.
To make bad comments. We're not going to do those here, are we, Tash? We like these
Hopefully
guys.
not.
But at this point, the giftable trick isn't really worth using. Evan does have 6-letter words that he can use, like denims. Or
Vendis.
Vendis. We don't know what a Vendis is. That scores 25. Vendis also takes another S.
Oh.
So they're always fun words to know. The words that end in S that take another S. like
No, you can't think of any.
like footles.
Who?
Footles. Footles.
Footless.
Yes, you could be footless.
Well, I've got pins and needles in my foot at the moment, so...
Yeah, you probably feel footless right now. So Evan plays Ben for 22, leaving MINS, which is a pretty good leave. You know, it's not 100% balanced, and he really needs an E to make it better. But we'll wait and see what turns out from that rack. Well, Brian picked up a Y and an I think, and that was just he was just not picking very good tiles to make a bonus with. And Evan actually picked an E and an L and another I. And he finds the word slimline.
There was also mill lines?
MILLINES.
Something like that.
And there was also liminess. To be limey. That doesn't mean... Yeah, that says liminess.
Yeah, but you need 2 S's for that. And he's got 2 L's.
Oh yeah, oh well.
I was wondering
Oh well.
about that.
I just want to say limey because I think like British people can be limeys as well. Oh well. Brian does challenge Slimline. Probably because Slimline puts him 100 behind as well. Probably because it also blocks his bonuses as well. And probably because he just doesn't know the word either. He plays Acidist, which I know Acidist is a word, but Slimlined might not be a word.
And it is not.
Ellen correctly challenges and it comes off the board. Tash, does Slimline have any hooks?
No.
So, because Slimline doesn't have any hooks, but also because Brian is actually unaware of the word as well. He would have had to try. He's a bonus behind. He needs to give something a go because there isn't an opening on the board currently. So I'm just playing a game here. I have games to play.
I feel like this board is pretty much this board and game are pretty much closed over now.
Yeah,
because there are kind of no bonus lanes or opportunities available, and unless Evan does something really drastic and bad, then I doubt that
he'll lose the game from this position. Yeah.
Did you finish your game?
No.
Oh.
But it really feels like the game has been blocked for the whole time as well.
It's because of that V.
The V
started it.
Yeah, the V of Raw has really blocked the board.
Really screwed everyone over.
That's another point to notice. Usually, if you play a V on your opening move, the board can get pretty tight. Now you don't think that because it's the opening move and the board is thrown open, but that can happen.
Anything can happen. It's a game of Scrabble.
Yeah. So we should actually probably talk about Evan's rack at this point.
We should.
Both players have got literally about equal time, just under 5 minutes.
They've been going for that long?
Yeah, they've been going for a while already. So Evan's got a W and U combination on his rack. It looks pretty gross, but he's not going to be too bothered about it because he does have a 100-point lead. Of course, if he knew giftables, then he'd probably find a word down there because he's clever enough to know 5-letter words. Unfortunately, there isn't one. Whether he might consider trying giftables or not, I wouldn't know. But it doesn't really matter. All he's got to do is make sure that he keeps the board closed enough so that Brian doesn't win. Because Evan's going to know that Brian will want to make openings here. He needs a bonus to get back into the game. And the only way for him to get a bonus on this board is to make some sort of opening.
But then I usually find that if I make an opening, my opponent's just going to close it down again. So then I just don't bother. I've just accepted this.
Yeah. But you've always got to give it a go sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose from giving it a go other than more spread. But sometimes you always want to give it a go. Like if there's a 1 in 8 chance of drawing the tile you need out the bag, go for it. I've had those 1 in 8s where the blank's been the last tile in the bag. I didn't expect it, and I should have actually tried to go for it. So, but always try and give things a go, even if you're like hating the feeling of doing that, because you'd rather have a chance at winning a game than have no chance at all at winning a game.
It's like when they say if you need a bonus to win, just try the bonus.
Mhm.
Because you never know.
It might give you rubbish spread points, but this game isn't about spread. Well, Scrabble generally is about spread, but Virtual's Tournament is not about spread. So it'll be perfectly fine. So what would Brian do here? He's staring at the rack of Acetist again, and he's got to contemplate whether he's going to try and make an opening or try and play.
Dakites.
He's got Dakites as well, so obviously Slimline blocked Dakites.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Down column 13. Brian plays Scam to just open out the row, row A. There are 2 bonuses on Evan's rack, Peritus and what was the other one? Purist, I think. Yeah, Purist. P-U-I, I'm just going to spell this out down here, P-U-I-R-E-S-T, and Peritus. There is one bonus.
There are a couple of 8s.
Yeah, there's one through the S, isn't there, Tash? There's Perseus,
yep. And then there's 2 beginning with the C. It was Cuprights, which he's played, and Crepitus. Crepitus? That thing. So the game is pretty much well and truly over now. Kind of.
Yeah, well, Evan is 186 points ahead, and there's only 2 tiles in the bag, and Brian can't really open a 9-timer here and expect it not to get blocked. He can open a 9-timer, fine, but he won't.
He likes, really.
He won't be able to do much with the 9-timer because all Evan really has to do is block it.
And there's 2 tiles in the bag.
Yeah, and it'll be really easy to block as well. So we can assume the game is won.
I think his best bet is doing something like bide at A12. Like going across, I mean. Hitting the triple.
Sorry, typing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something to say.
I'm not entirely sure if Brian's going to consider opening the board up. I mean, he does have the floating S at the top, so he might want to go fishing. But,
I don't really see a point.
Well, he might as well try to cut down the spread, just in case. When I say go fishing, like, normally all the other, the people I commentate with are, like, saying to me, Jess, what are you, expecting to hit? Sometimes I'm not expecting to hit anything. Like, I just want to see what happens, because I can't really visualise things very well. I would have wanted to hit an O, though. I would have dumped the D and wanted to hit the O for, like, debitors or D orbits. But obviously, Evan would have just blocked that anyway. So, Brian plays Bide for 48. He drew the O and the U. So Evan's actually got a really nice rack, but unfortunately there are no 7s and the only 8s. The floaters aren't on the board, but he's not going to worry too much about that. He's just going to be happy that
he's won.
That he's won. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, and
so he's gonna.
So he plays
Do
jail.
that.
It's like he's transposed the letters of goal, which is very relevant to our virtual soccer tournament. So jail scores 29. That puts Evan 167 ahead, and somehow Brian needs to find a really crazy word to even have a hope of winning. Brian plays do-rock for 18. It's another 5-letter word that just sounds a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Because
we're all crazy here.
Yeah, crazy. Evan goes out with Ren for 14. Brian passes, and Evan wins the first game 523 to 358. Go Evan! And you want to cheer Evan, don't you, Tash? Because you need to get to bed. You've just yawned.
I've been yawning for a little while now. I think it's time for me to go to bed, but my bed is not calling me.
Yeah, so...
I mean, it's calling me, but it's not calling me at the same time.
So this first game, it did look pretty tight, but Evan did get 4 bonuses in. And unfortunately, Brian could only manage 1. He spent quite a lot of the game fishing, it felt, or playing off 2 tiles. He played Yen with 2 tiles, Ra had 2, Oe had 2, Joe had 2. It felt like he was fishing for 4 turns there. And that seemed to be where a lot of it was lost. Even though those moves scored like 20 points, it felt like the opportunity to score a lot more than that was just lost. Because, yeah, he wasn't playing any more tiles. He was drawing letters that just couldn't help him bonus either. And he might have been turning down a lot better scores in favour of being more likely to draw a bonus by playing fewer tiles, but it turns out that didn't really happen anyway. So, on one hand, Brian is just really unfortunate. On the other hand, you can't be lucky with fishing all the time. Some players will be like, fishing is just bad unless you're sat there with retain or something that you're very likely to hit a bonus with on anything.
She's drinking water, by the way.
They've started their second game. Evan is due to start anyway because he is. That's the way
it works.
That's the way the organisers of virtuals have decided it to happen. So it's Evan's start. Evan is still on the right and Brian is still on the left. Evan's actually picked up the blank.
He only has 3-letter words on his rack, like minus
without
the blank. Minus the blank.
So that's pretty interesting. He'll definitely look to get rid of an I here. Unfortunately, the only way to get rid of the I is to play Iwi.
Or why? Way.
Or way.
Way. Why?
W-A-I. But Iwi is B-A-E blank. Or as Tash says, bay.
Bay.
It's not yet a word in Collins, okay? It is kind of a bit better than leaving B-I-E blank. I just think B-A-E goes a lot better. I don't know about my names, okay? Somebody should correct me if the B-I-E blank is better than B-A-E blank.
Well, but I'd rather keep an E than an I.
No, an A than...
Oh.
It's A versus I.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard. Leaving IE blank gives better endings, but the A gives a bit more flexibility. It's really one of those...
It's one of those things, man.
Yeah.
Whatever you prefer is cool.
Sometimes it's how you feel as well, because it's the start of the game. You can draw almost anything from the bag. So,
almost.
So Brian here has a pumice and an E. Pumice is the longest word on his rack, but it only goes off the second I of Iwi across. Okay. So, pumice would play there. One of yours, Tash. That's one of your hairballs.
Not one of mine.
It's got to be your hairball, Tash. We're sitting on the floor at the moment, so there are hairballs everywhere.
Yeah, they're probably hers because she's been in my room for the past couple of nights.
My hair's been tied up, Tash.
Yeah.
I can't be making hairballs with my hair tied up. And my hair's really short now. Probably all your hairballs.
I don't do hairballs.
So the reason I'm choosing
talking about hairballs.
Yeah, that's just not. Half of you probably own cats. You probably know what furballs are like. These are hairballs where they're basically longer than furballs and a bit more annoying.
Especially if they keep being your sisters.
So the reason I'm suggesting pumice is because it does get rid of 6 tiles, and it's also not that easy to play underneath pumice. So Evan would really need an H to play underneath pumice for a good 40 points. And there's only 2 H's in the game, and it doesn't really open too much up. So it does what Brian would be hoping his move to do would be.
Right, he's got plenty bonuses.
Yeah, he's got...
Should I go through them all?
Yep, you could go through the 7s.
On his rack, he has Baron, and Nanobes.
I'll just spell them out for you.
You can.
Baron.
Through the eye, either eye of Pumice and Iwi, we have Besonian and Bezonian, which is basically the same, just with an S or a Z. Through the M, he has Nobleman.
I wish the men I knew were noblemen. Nothing with the W.
7.
Yeah. I'm not even sure where you're getting a W from.
Oh, I would see
Yeah.
if it's
What about through the PI? Could there be some 9s through the pi?
through the pie?
No.
No, that's not a 9, is it?
No, that's an 8.
I can't count. guys.
It's late, Tash. Don't worry, I can't count either. And that's most days of the week. It's nothing with the C.
Yeah.
And with the E, there's nothing.
Also nothing.
So,
Quite a bit of choice here.
Yeah, there is. Everyone could choose to play Nanobes down here for 82. I suspect that's not the best play because it just opens up the trickles. Yeah, it opens up the trickles and it's not really good. A word like Bezonian with the Z, even though it's called 68, it's also got the advantage of leaving a Z floating instead of an S, and you always want to leave the most complicated letters floating, because if you leave S's floating willy-nilly...
willy-nilly.
That's what we say, Tash. We say willy-nilly.
I know.
If you guys don't know what willy-nilly means, it sort of just means like...
Just like crazy.
Yeah, like just everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
just leaving them without care, basically.
Yeah, that's what willy-nilly means. So, Brian challenges Bezonian, and Evan gains another 5 points from that. So Evan is on 80 and Brian is on 13.
And
Brian...
Evan has just blocked Brian's bonus through the C.
Which conveniently begins with Evan.
Yeah.
Evanesce. Which is probably like one of our favourite acts, Evanescence. It's called
Evan.
Well, I like their song. So.
I like one of their songs.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I like one of their songs.
Okay.
So, Brian plays Eve for 20. He leaves sane on his rack, which is probably describing neither of us. We're not very sane.
I'm definitely not very sane.
I mean, you should look at Tash's bedroom. She's not sane.
I'm totally not sane.
And then if you look at my bedroom, you're like, how are you two related?
Yeah.
And you're also both really crazy.
Yeah.
So, Evan...
Got that gene, haven't we?
We've got the crazy gene. So, Evan here has got 2 R's, 2 I's, 2 T's, and a P.
Oh, let me check it out.
So, he is really looking to get rid of his duplicates. He plays Piet, P-I-R-E-T. Sorry, P-I-E-R-T. God, I don't know which way around my words go.
It's 10 past midnight, it's okay.
P-I-E-R-T, 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 P-I-E-R-T,
P-I-E-R-T.
And on that farm he had a duck, P-I-E-R-T. Yeah. So he got rid of his duplicates, he leaves R-I-T, and... yeah. So, back to Brian. He just seems so... unable to draw good tiles. It's just really unfortunate. Like, I sort of like want to spread my luck to him and just say, Brian, have a bonus, please.
And I kind of don't, because I want to go to bed. No offense. I mean, it'd be great if you like won and kept it interesting, but I kind of need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, Brian would definitely look to get rid of his duplicate N. The U is also sort of really an awkward letter. And he might also want to get rid of the O as well, because the O is just not very nice either.
Well, O's are okay. I mean, they're not the best.
Oh god, oh shit.
Why are you trying to flight mode on?
That wasn't the point. That wasn't the point. I've thrown off the internet. That's not very good.
Did it mess up everything?
It will mess up a bit. Hopefully.
What do you mean, hopefully?
Hopefully it won't mess up anything. I know I've just...
Wi-Fi's off.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. We might have lost...
Apologies? But though it's completely not my fault.
Yeah, I messed that up a bit.
It's her laptop, so, like, don't blame me for anything, okay?
Well,
are we back with this game? Or?
Oh, let me just...
I don't know what's going on, guys.
Switch for a minute. I'm gonna log off of ISC for a minute. Because, the fact that I hit the flight mode button is gonna mess up.
We probably missed a move.
Yes, we have. Oh my god, I am so sorry for that.
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry, okay? The button just happens to be near the backspace. Who put that button there?
You did.
I didn't design the laptop.
Just commentate on the thing.
Okay.
We're behind.
So Brian played noun for a couple of points. Evan seemed to quickly plonk down the word literary, which is one of those stupid words that I can't pronounce.
Literary.
Okay. Yeah. And then
very quickly.
Yes, and then very quickly, Brian plays Astinos.
Maybe I should have looked up their racks.
No, it's fine. I'm pretty sure they were the best. I was just about to suggest noun before I all hit the backspace.
Before she hit buttons she should not have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I'm still streaming live. I'm just asking one of my ISC friends to check if I'm still streaming live.
If we're not streaming live, then this is a waste of time.
I know. I'm just gonna check Twitch for a minute. It should be streaming live, because it does say I'm streaming live.
But you never know, these things do lie. Sometimes. Yeah. Are we not streaming live?
Yeah, it says I'm streaming live.
You're streaming live?
Yeah, I can see me streaming live.
Except that's an ad.
Yeah, but I'm definitely streaming live.
We haven't even talked about this game. I mean, this move. So, who's this? Evan got the Q. And he plays the Q.
He plays K there. There was also this Q hotspot here. But,
I really, these are times when I wish FAQ was a word.
Yeah, but unfortunately it isn't.
Yeah.
FAQ would be awesome.
Really
but it's not. Yeah, look, Tush, I'm definitely going live.
Alright, we're streaming live.
Yeah, we're about 30 seconds behind. So.
Obviously. But that's okay.
That's what normally happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So, back to Brian's rack.
Brian's got a very vowel-heavy rack.
He's got 5 vowels, 2 O's, A, E, U, a V, and an L.
That's the best combination of vowels.
He wanted to get V's and U's and complicated
W's and
stuff.
U's and all this poop, which isn't nice when you're playing a best-of-3 match.
And you're playing a guy like Evan, who is a very, very good player. I did actually meet Evan while I was down in London for the Scrabble Champions Tournament weekend. I didn't meet Brian, he'd probably gone back to America by then. He's not from Kazakhstan, if you've got that tattoo. I think he's from Kentucky.
Was this in November?
Yeah, this was in November.
Okay.
So,
Ovule.
yeah. Brian plays Ovule, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an Ovule. He's a guy. Both Tash and I have Ovules. Probably. But Brian doesn't have an Ovule.
I think they gathered that already. I think that goes without saying.
Yes.
So you did not need to go into that much, like,
Detail about ovules.
Yeah.
So, Evan's got, he's got a GHT which go really well together, but unfortunately you can't have the word flighter, and there's no D on the board to play the 8.
There's an 8? Oh, there's an 8. There was an 8.
Was there? It was just flighted, and there was no D.
Yep.
So, Evan plays Death for 32. And,
Brian's sitting here with some duplicates.
Again, I mean, he just always seems to have... He must be, like, hating himself. He'd, like, this one time...
Oh my god, he's got a word that we learned!
We did learn a word, yes!
Why did you get that?
Because we're not thinking straight, but unfortunately it doesn't go down, does it, Tash?
Oh.
What a bummer.
Anyway, he has 2 arts. One of the handful of words which has OOA in them, like together.
In that order.
In that order. And I love those words because they're just
beautiful. we did learn it just for the sake of learning a funky...
The variants of buai, 2 art and 2 arts. And
obviously the plurals of buai as well.
Yeah.
So...
And I think those words are just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Except I'd never see them in a real game, probably.
Especially not when it spells out Talsuit on the back. I mean, that's really close to 2 arts, but it just doesn't scream 2 arts.
Yeah.
Does 2 arts actually go with anything? We didn't look to see if it went with a...
I was excited about 2 arts.
Mm-hmm. We've got our 2 viewers back, Tash. I'm really sorry to you viewers. I hit the flight mode button.
Yeah, blame everything on her.
Somebody put the flight mode button by the backspace button and I accidentally hit it.
Yeah, 2 arts goes with an N, an R, a P.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I can't see an N, N, R or P in the positions that you want it on this board. So that's another bummer for Brian. He's just getting a load of bummers. It's like, Brian, does the tile fairy hate you
right now?
Have you insulted her? Or does it just
really want me to go to bed?
Yeah. The tile fairy loves you.
The tile fairy does not love me as much as I would like.
Look, Tash,
it loves me enough.
My friend Gladiator on ISC, she's from New Zealand, she's just said, lol, too funny. Listening to Quiz and her sister commentate, they sound like one person in stereo. That's probably because we're sisters, like, we're so like each other, it just sounds like we're just reverberating or something.
But I do like your comment. Thank you for your comment.
We love you, Gladiator.
You're awesome.
Big heart. I'm doing a heart with my fingers.
She is, and I will do it too.
Woo!
We love
Not
you.
that you can see this, but we're doing hearts with our fingers. So Evan's got the second blank. I'm not sure if he had the second blank before or not. I can't remember.
Well, he's got it now. That's what matters.
Yeah, and he's got
ing, which is quite nice.
He's got a load of bonuses through the A of Asinos and the E of Ovule, but he goes for a word bitingly.
I thought it said bitching.
You're not supposed to say that out loud, Tash. We can't insult our younger viewers if we have any.
There should be a word though.
No.
Okay. It's close.
Evan says bitingly, and that probably describes how I feel.
How you feel?
Yeah, with my retainers in, bitingly. That's how my retainers sound, by the way. Not that's me making a funny noise while I bite. That's what retainers sound like. That's probably really disgusting to you guys. Just don't ever think about retainers.
You should stop.
Yes.
You should stop.
So, on to Brian. He's got a second S. So he just keeps picking up stuff that doesn't go together, and he must be just like dreading the fact that I'm probably going to put this on YouTube afterwards.
His rat goes with the T, though. Starosti?
It sounds like something you eat, that's star-shaped.
No, it sounds like, you know, one of those famous guys that from the past, and you're forced to remember their name because they did something amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. But I don't want to remember them. So Brian here would probably look to get rid of Soy somewhere. He'd probably play something like Boyers from the Bee of Bitingly. But he is 165 points behind right now. And the tile bag is getting ever so slowly diminished. So he's got to try and somehow get 2 bonuses that score a lot of points. He does choose to play Boys for 27. Let's hope he picks something decent this time, so maybe we can have a slightly closer game. Because at the moment, Evan's sort of running away with it. I mean, maybe Evan's just killing Brian because Evzone is actually a Greek soldier. That's what Evzone means. It's a valid word in Collins.
It is. It takes an S.
Yeah, it's a Greek soldier. Like I said, Greek soldiers can be pluralised. He's probably got like his sword out or something, and it's like...
That's the only word.
He's like probably in the midst of attacking Brian or something, like by the throat, because he's just like completely going for the jugular. So Evan has
you said going for the jugular, and I was reading the comment.
Yeah.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. He could be like with Evan, with the Greek soldier, like a gladiator and a Greek soldier, and then no.
You never know.
So Evan has the combination of W and U, but he really won't care. He'll just want to make sure that the board's tight enough that that Brian can't come back with 2 bonuses. Admittedly, even if Brian does get 2 bonuses, you've still got to remember Evan's probably going to get another Evan's probably going to get another 50 points anyway from the next 2 moves, because you tend to average about 25 when you're top class players, 25 to 30, somewhere along those lines. So yeah. Oh, there's a wonderful word here. I think it's a kind of fish. It's when you are.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pluralise it here. When you are. So that you could read like when you as good as me, I will teach you words like when you are.
Okay.
The way you just looked at me like, Jess, are you on drugs? Are you on drugs again, Jess?
What do you mean again?
I don't know, I've never been on drugs in the first place.
Exactly. So
the only drug I'm on is like caffeine, and I'm not even on caffeine right now.
I'm on chocolate. Actually, I haven't eaten chocolate in ages.
I know, I really want a nice bar of chocolate.
I need some chocolate.
It's me drinking again. Water, not Coca-Cola.
Or alcohol. Even though she's legal in the UK.
Not drinking alcohol. Last time I drank alcohol, it didn't go too well, so...
I've never tried it. My friends want to get me drunk.
I don't get drunk, Tash. Yeah. It's not what everyone expects it to be. So Evan here is thinking long and hard about his move. He obviously can, you know. It's what you should.
He's got 7 minutes. He can use them as he wishes.
Yeah. And Brian currently has just under 7 minutes. Evan has just over. He will of course want to split the W and the U. He can play a word above Asinos, just here from C5 to C7, something like whore. Not that kind of whore, this whore. The laughy kind of whore, for 30 points. Unfortunately, that doesn't really block anything. Well, I lie. Okay, it blocks the spet hook. And I completely ignored the spet hook. How did I miss the spet hook? Oops, set up the spet hook.
Oh.
Oh, it's right. How did I miss that?
War.
Not the kind of war that Greek soldiers will probably want to go to.
And gladiators.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had this right before.
Yeah. It's Ossetras and Ossetra. OSSETRA and OSE. Or is it an OSETRAS? So you can have. So I suspect Ossetras will be played here for 77 because it's the best place for Ossetras. And finally, Brian has a bonus. Woo, Brian! Woo!
Except Evan's had like 3.
Yeah. Oh wait, we forgot to cheer when Brian got his other bonus. He's got another bonus.
He got 2.
Whoa, he got 2 bonuses. Woo, woo.
His in-between moves haven't been as good.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that he's been almost forced to fish because his racks have just been too good. So, yeah, it's a bit unlucky because he hasn't had the tiles that allow him to just play scores, whereas Evan has had the tiles that allows him to score. Evan does have 3 A's on this rack. That's not going to bother him too much. He's still 93 points ahead. So, he will consider blocking off the S of Ossetras, no. Because that is the easiest way for Brian to get another bonus. So many viewers.
5 viewers. Hello, viewers.
We love you, peoples.
Hope you're enjoying the game and commentary
and the duck
and the duck
and the duck
and the footballs and the words and the Scrabble in general
and these 2 top class players. So, Evan's probably going to get rid of 2 A's here at least. He's not going to empty the bag, obviously. He plays Nala for 20, and that draws a challenge for Brian. So Evan's got 2 sets of extra 5-point challenges from Brian this game. One for Bezonian and the other from Nala. But to be honest, that doesn't really make much of a difference. Because, he's ages behind. I see Brian quickly playing Zirams for 74. Because
ooh, what did you do?
I hit another button that I'm not supposed to.
Oh.
At least that doesn't do much. That's just a funny start menu button.
Sure about that?
I'm sure that's fine. I do that all the time. It's annoying.
Okay.
Because Zirams actually does leave.
Oh.
Okay, he plays it there.
So that just sets up the.
That sets up the Z for an easy scoring comeback from Evan, and I don't really agree with that. But at the same time, it does leave the other J2 hotspot open because he is sitting there with the J. So that could actually be a really clever move. Because that could allow him 2 back-to-back 50-60 point scores, and it might actually allow him to sneak the game. Bear in mind, I say might. I don't think he actually will,
and I don't really want him to because I want to sleep.
I think the only word here from the Z is Zeta.
Oh, I can have a look. Yes, Peter is the only one.
Though of course Evan is thinking about whether he does need to block the S of the Setras as well. Because if Brian does get a bonus, Evan will be caught with an S, and Zeta does empty the bag. So
you don't really want to do that. Do you think he could play something like tax, like above bitingly? Maybe
he could. Tex would be a bit better, or Dex. Dex would be a bit better. But then at the same time, you are still emptying the bag, and you don't want to do that. So you really got to think: how am I gonna place some tiles and block off the S spot at the same time?
Oh, so he doesn't empty the bag,
but he plays X for 38, and unfortunately for Brian, JIRRE does not take an S, and because he hasn't drawn an A to go with JIRG, I'm pretty sure there are no 6s ending in S that have the J at the start.
No.
However, what he could do is play Zerk for 51, and maybe he'd pick up an A. Because he's definitely got Jurga here as well for next go. So he could either choose between Zerk and Jurga. I would go for Zerk because it scores 51, but unfortunately I think the game is lost here.
He had a good shot at it.
Yeah, he gave it a very good shot. Unfortunately, the tiles just seem to flow Evan's way.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's really, really hard to win when that happens. It's especially hard to win when you're playing a top-class player like Evan.
It's like you just want to hit your head repeatedly against the wall because just the tiles aren't coming and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's just like, why is this happening to me now?
But don't hit your head against the wall, it really hurts.
Yeah.
I've already had my head glued back together like Humpty Dumpty. Don't do it.
Okay.
Except I didn't hit my head against the wall. I sort of fell and hit my head on like a wooden crate or something, and then
I don't think they need to know that.
No, I was like 4 when it happened. I don't remember feeling pain back then.
Brian does play Zerk from the Z.
Yeah, he picks up
the
E. Not that does him much good. Evan will probably play a word here that just blocks off the S's, just to make sure that that there's nothing possible really down there. He'll know that the only possible out for Brian is rejigs, so he will be looking to block rejigs from here. So Cash has found the word defats.
I have.
You have
my stuff.
I'm sorry. I need to fidget.
Then fidget, but not on my stuff.
So defats does block rejigs. I'm pretty sure it does anyway.
Yeah. Looks like it does.
You always got to make sure that when you play words like this that you always think about whether it opens out something else as well.
I just realised how late it was. It is late.
Yeah, this game has really been like going.
Both of these games have gone right down to the end of the times.
Yeah.
And I think if it went to a third one, I think I would definitely go to sleep.
And throw me out her bedroom.
And I would definitely throw her out my bedroom.
So defats is a good idea, but also you could play death for 30. That doubly makes sure that that definitely makes sure that nothing really plays out. Sorry, I'm sort of not really finishing my sentences here.
Oh, the tiles are different colours.
Whoops! That always happens at some point.
They're pretty because it's like the vowels are in one colour and the consonants are in another colour.
So, at this point, I think probably the best move for Brian is to play Jurga. Seems the best. I mean, Evan's gonna go out like well, he's gonna go out with Ted in a couple of places. He's gonna go out undefeated with Ted, and you might expect that to happen pretty quickly. So so unfortunately for Brian, both games have really gone Evan's way, and and unfortunately we have to say congratulations to Evan, even though he like luck boxed his way through all of these.
Yeah.
You know, it just,
That's okay, it happens.
you know, there's always been next virtuous tournaments. So Evan wins 451 to 389 and goes through to the quarterfinals of virtuals to play Dum 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 All at Bullock from St Vincent and the Grenadines. So I will let Tash go to bed now because she is super tired. She's yawning and stuff.
I have to get up at like 6:15 or 6:30, and it's like 20 to 1 right now.
Yeah. So we wish you guys a good evening and a good night or a good morning or a good afternoon, wherever you're from.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
How may I help you? No. The wrong time of day to do that.
You can help me by finishing up.
So we wish you guys good night and whatever. We hope you really enjoyed the broadcast, and this was the final game of Stratosphere. Hopefully the guys are going to say when it is, and we will commentate that too. Otherwise, we'll have to wait another 4 or 5 days before the next commentary comes in.
So long.
Because that's when the next round's due to happen. It really depends on when Lukeman and Emmanuel decide to play. But I will put this on YouTube soon.
Tomorrow, when she wakes up.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.